Welcome to Richard's Roadmap, the podcast where we dissect the most critical geopolitical stories shaping our world. I'm your host, David, and today we're diving into a story that has once again put the Middle East in the global spotlight: the recent U.S. airstrikes in Yemen and how they're escalating regional tensions. Before we get into the details of the airstrikes, let's step back and understand the backdrop. Yemen has been in a state of civil war since 2014, when Houthi rebels took control of the capital, Sana'a, ousting the internationally recognized government. This conflict has drawn in major players, including Saudi Arabia and Iran, each supporting opposing sides. And of course, the U.S. has been involved primarily through intelligence, arms sales, and drone strikes. The humanitarian toll has been catastrophic. Over 24 million people are in need of assistance. It's one of the worst humanitarian crises in modern history. The U.S. launched a series of airstrikes targeting Houthi-controlled areas in northern Yemen. According to Pentagon sources, the strikes were in response to continued Houthi attacks on commercial shipping routes in the Red Sea, which the U.S. claims threaten international maritime security. What's notable here is the scale. These were not limited drone operations. Fighter jets and naval assets were involved, suggesting a more assertive military posture. President Trump stated that these strikes were a necessary response to protect American and allied interests in the region. The response has been swift and divided. Iran condemned the strikes, calling them aggression against a sovereign nation, and has pledged more support for the Houthis. Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, has voiced cautious approval, seeing it as a step to curb Iranian influence in the Arabian Peninsula. Russia and China have expressed concern, warning that the U.S. action could destabilize the region further. The European Union has called for restraint and urged all parties to return to peace negotiations. Meanwhile, protests have erupted in several Yemeni cities, with civilians calling for an end to foreign interference. The strikes have also intensified anti-American sentiment across parts of the Middle East. So what does this mean moving forward? First, it risks entrenching the U.S. deeper into another prolonged Middle Eastern conflict. History has shown us that military interventions without clear exit strategies often lead to long-term instability. Second, it complicates the already fragile negotiations between the Houthis and the Saudi-backed Yemeni government. Peace talks that have been gaining momentum now risk collapsing. And third, it sends a clear message to other actors in the region, particularly Iran and its proxies, that the U.S. is willing to use force. This could escalate tensions not just in Yemen, but also in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. So where do we go from here? The coming weeks will be critical. Will these strikes deter future Houthi attacks, or will they fuel further escalation? We'll be watching closely, and as always, we'll bring you the latest analysis as the story unfolds. Thanks for tuning into Richard's Roadmap. If you found this episode informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm David, and I'll see you next time with more insight into the shifting sands of global politics.